Eminem, you're a monkey. He's really a hunky, but that's racial. You's a monkey. You's monkeys.
That damn wall. Yo, got that shit? Got that shit. Who was that, 50 fighting?
Yo, we're 50 fighting too. 50? Word? Yeah.
What's up to all my Day One subscribers? And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. In hip-hop, not all wars are waged with gunfire or headlines. Some start with whispers, a single line, a sideways glance during an interview, a vibe. And sometimes, the most lethal shots aren't fired with weapons.
And y'all got a problem for the rest of y'all life. I'ma shit on y'all on every corner. You think it's on, hey, and 50, you boring me. I might need to get at Eminem now. I might need to, I don't know. Yeah, y'all saw the new Eminem video?
Yeah.
You like it?
It's Eminem.
His swag ain't the same though. I don't think this time, I don't think he really, I don't know, I'm not gonna be critical because I'm a fan.
Right.
But I see the swag ain't the same.
Right.
They're embedded in bars so sharp, they slice reputations in half before the beat even drops. That's the kind of message Eminem sent when Rick Ross started talking out the side of his mouth in 2009. See, what looked like a few minor comments turned into a situation so heated, it got street politics involved.
Eminem, you're a monkey. He's really a hunky, but that's racial.
Triggered a no-fly zone and sent a thick cloud of tension over Detroit's skyline.
Jackass, eat a donkey dick. The game, I just about conquered it. Like Donkey Kong, I'm bonkers. I'm the king of this honky shit. I reign supreme in this honky shit. No sense screaming and arguing. Makes no difference whether a Benz, a Bentley, or a Beam is the car you win. You think you ball? Well, I palm it. I throw up bombs when I bomb it. Boy, I throw down in the kitchen. Might hit your mom with my omelet, but you got egg on your face. Now watch me drop an atomic. I should be strapped to the chest of a kamikaze. I'm as best it is Ozzy. It's obvious, you can tell right off the bat. No pun intended, but coming any closer, I'll bite off your head.
All it took was one bar, just one line, from Eminem to remind everyone exactly who they were dealing with. It all began when Rick Ross, riding high on his boss persona, decided to pick a fight with the wrong crew.
Yo, what up, though? This the big homie Trick all the way from the no-fly zone, Detroit. You understand me and you watching ThisIs50.com.
No-fly zone, bitch. What?
In early 2009, Ross launched a public attack on 50 Cent, accusing him of being fake, soft, and not built for the streets. At first, it just looked like standard industry drama. Two rappers flexing egos. But anyone who knew the terrain could see it wasn't just a 50 Cent thing. Ross was poking a hornet's nest, and that nest, it had connections, it had muscle, and it had Eminem.
We had Rick Ross right outside here tonight at about 11 o'clock. When he was pulling up to come into Sherry Park, he was met by 100 individuals outside. We have tried to pull every resource together and ask him to come back. He is in fear of his life. This is real shit. He's in fear of his life, and he's not performing here tonight. And he may never come back to Detroit. And that's no bullshit.
At the time, Eminem was still relatively quiet. He'd been on a long hiatus, recovering from personal battles, addiction, and grief.
But I have to ask you, okay, what is going on with you in Detroit? There was a show that you were supposed to perform, right? And you made, you referenced it on your Twitter.
Right.
You made light of it. But now it's like the headlines are crazy. The blogs are like, Rick Ross is fearful of his life. He can't come to Detroit anymore.
Right.
So no fly zone. What's happening? What's going on with that?
Somebody is misleading our like, yo, we went out to Detroit, we had a gig to go to, so the team head over, to the gig. And I got my team, so my team is always in front of me, just to make it clear, I never even made it to the venue.
Okay.
I never made it to the venue. Me and whoever this gentleman is, we never crossed paths. He never spoke with Rose. And I expect him to clarify that. I expect him, to tell y'all, we never talked to Rose. We never spoke to MMG. But anyway, you know, the caravan on the way to the venue, and you know, they get there and someone has locked the gates to the venue, padlocked or however they did it. The gate was locked. It was gentlemen supposed to be here. This I didn't see myself.
Okay.
It was supposed to be gentlemen here who were talking with the police, and it was very peaceful. Okay. You know, for my team that made it, you know,
there before you.
Right. You know, they didn't even know it was a problem, you know. And so you know, that's the promoter's job, you know what I mean? So
to guarantee that it's
right,
a
just
safe situation.
Right. So, you know, the promoter himself say, you know, let's get it fixed. We say, let's go to the casino. Shout out to Greektown Casino. So we went back to the casino, and you know, that's where we chilled. And that's when I got the story that there was supposed to be a mob gang, and you know, that's totally false. Mm-hmm. No one spoke to MMG. No one.
So what happens now? Like, do you go back to Detroit?
I mean,
like,
you know, for me personally,
your fans are out there. They want to see you.
I mean, for me personally, you know, of course it ain't personal because I was paid and I was paid well. You under dig? And I just feel bad for those kids that stood out there 6 hours,
right,
that wanted to see Ricky Rose and couldn't see the boss because someone padlocked the gate. You know, so for whatever reason they did this, I don't understand it. Because if it's somebody that's supposed to be from the jungle, in the jungle you don't lock the lions out. You let the lions in and lock them in.
Still don't have nothing to say about it, and the reason being is because it's me and that business, and the radio station was the one that blew that shit up, because it wasn't that big of a situation. It wasn't really a situation at all. It was a stop, it was a roll, and it was over. It wasn't no more crazy hollering and all of that old shit like that. Yeah, the police was out there like, what the fuck is going on? You know, they was a bit confused too. What the fuck you mean no fly zone? Hold on, dog, you tripping.
But he wasn't gone. He was watching, observing, loading the clip. So when Rick Ross took that indirect shot saying Eminem's music wasn't relevant to the streets, and mocking his look, his energy, even his swag, it wasn't just some throwaway comment. It was a challenge. One Ross didn't realize he had just made.
Detroit has become a no-fly zone. Oh, shit. So, majority of the artists are not allowed here, right? Without
is there a
fucking permission or spending money. Y'all record labels better start signing some of these goddamn artists from Detroit, or y'all artists can't come in this taking no goddamn money.
In interviews, Ross played coy. He acted like he was above the drama. He told reporters, Eminem? Yeah, I saw the new video. His swag ain't the same. He don't got it like that no more. Smirking, light laughter, shrugging it off like Eminem was just another washed-up rapper trying to find his way back. But those who understand Eminem know...
It's the biggest boss. Shout out to Aftermath. Shady, what's up? Eminem, you need to get on this magnificent remix. Feel me? I'ma help everybody out.
He doesn't react like other artists. He doesn't jump on Instagram to rant. He doesn't go live. He doesn't subtweet. When Eminem responds, he does it with surgical precision. And when he decides it's time to speak, he doesn't miss. April 2010. The calm was over. Eminem emerged with a vengeance. No press release, no teaser, just bars. He dropped the despicable freestyle, a 3-minute lyrical assault that let the world know he was back. And nobody was safe. And buried deep in the avalanche of metaphors was a bar that stopped time. I'm the king of this honky shit. I reign supreme in this honky shit. It wasn't just wordplay. That line was a double-edged sword. M took Ross's racial jab, calling him a monkey and mocking his appearance, and flipped it, mocked the mockery, owned the insult, claimed his throne, no yelling, no threats, just icy confidence. The message was clear. I heard you. And if I wanted to end you, I could, easily. The industry froze. But here's where things took a real-life turn. Enter Trick Trick, the street-certified OG of Detroit, Eminem's longtime friend, and the man who defines what real means in the city. Trick doesn't play games. In Detroit, when he speaks, people listen. And when someone disrespects one of his own, he doesn't wait for a diss track. He puts up walls. Trick publicly declared Detroit a no-fly zone for Rick Ross. That's not a metaphor. That means do not set foot in this city. Don't book shows here. Don't collect money here. Don't even try to fly in. Because if you do, there will be consequences. And in 2014, those consequences came knocking. Rick Ross was booked to perform at Hot 107.5's Summer Jams concert in Detroit. Fans were hyped. The arena was buzzing. But Ross never made it on stage. In fact, he never even made it to the front door. According to reports, over 100 men were waiting for him outside the venue, calmly, respectfully, but firmly letting him know, "You're not performing tonight." Ross's team reportedly turned the car around and left without stepping out. Word spread fast. Headlines exploded. Rick Ross banned from Detroit. No-fly zone enforced. Ross flees concert amid threats. It wasn't just drama. It was a power play executed with the kind of silence that screams louder than any diss track. When Ross was later asked about the incident, he tried to brush it off. Said he never made it to the venue. Claimed he didn't even know who Trick was. "We were on the way. The gates were locked. So we went to the casino. Cool, casual, calm. But that wasn't the full story, and everyone knew it." Trick responded with even more clarity. "If you don't show respect to the city and its people, you don't get to profit off it." Detroit doesn't play about its legends, especially not Eminem. And that's the thing about Eminem. He never responded to Ross directly. Not in interviews, not on stage, not even on Twitter. That single bar in Despicable was all he needed. He knew that Trick had already handled the street-level check. And in hip-hop, that kind of silence is power. It means you don't need to argue with someone. You can simply remove them. To Ross's credit, he never pressed the issue again. In fact, in the years that followed, he even began showing M respect, praising his lyricism, and even mentioning that M should jump on one of his remixes. A complete pivot from the subtle shade he had thrown just a few years earlier. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, who had originally sparked the feud, kept pressing Ross in classic 50 fashion. Diss tracks, memes, and relentless trolling. But Eminem? He went back to his corner, watched, waited, let others talk, because he knew what everyone else was slowly realizing. Some rappers diss, others destroy. Eminem doesn't need to flood the internet. He just needs one bar, one razor-sharp line, and the whole narrative shifts. What Ross experienced wasn't just a lyrical jab. It was a lesson in weight classes, a warning sent with such precision that even years later, people still whisper about that no-fly zone like it was urban legend. But it happened, and it was real. Hip-hop is filled with stories of bravado, revenge, and lyrical warfare. But this was different. This was the story of a man who mocked a legend, got checked by the streets, and learned that sometimes the king doesn't need to roar to make his presence known. Sometimes one bar is enough.